We also know that people with developmental disabilities are getting stuck in both community hospitals and in state psychiatric hospitals because it's very hard to find placements for them.
Hi, I'm Scott Leadingham. Thanks for joining us here in the unique Northwest. Today we are with Austin Jenkins, Olympia correspondent, who's done a recent series of reporting on disability support services in the state of Washington and how those with developmental disabilities are supported through state services. So Austin, tell us, how are they being served?
What we're finding is that while the state does serve about 35,000 people with developmental disabilities in this state, there are those who are not being served, about 13,000 who qualify but not currently getting services, and not a lot is known about those individuals because they don't have case managers. We also know that people with developmental disabilities are getting stuck in both community hospitals and in state psychiatric hospitals because it's very hard to find placements for them if they present more complex needs, difficult to find places for them in the community. And so they languish in the hospital because it's hard to place them. We also know that there are workforce issues where it's very hard to recruit and retain people to do the community-based care for people with developmental disabilities. So all of that added together, along with the fact that the Developmental Disabilities Administration budget doesn't grow with the population, the fact that the so-called Medicaid waiver baskets of care are capped and limited, they're not an entitlement, makes it hard for everyone who wants services to get services. And we also know that there's just been a lot of pressure of late to move people out of the state-run institutions, the RHCs, into the community. That's been a focus of the agency of late, but it also means that there are other groups of people who are perhaps not getting as much attention.
Well, Austin, we thank you for sharing your reporting on that topic. You can see it at nwpb.org. Thank you for joining us here in the unique Northwest.